Hello, and thank you for joining us here on the Neutral Zone. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by my trusty sidekick, my partner in crime. Really, the best way to describe this person is my everything. It's at Eric Dalala.
Phil, nice to be with you today.
It's great to be with you as well. We tend to do this every week.
Hey, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
You make some good points.
This week, the energy around the building, pretty good, pretty high. A lot of positivity around here, and I think it has something to do with that big win over the Cowboys.
You think that's it?
I do.
I mean, the lunch was pretty good the other day. That could have been it.
Really good. Some nice sea bass.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
They do fish very nicely around here.
They do. But it could be the win over the Cowboys that was the biggest win in 5 years.
No, maybe we can just agree to disagree on that.
Where's George Stoya?
I don't know.
Is he coming?
He's sources say that he may never be on this show again.
Yeah, he's still eating those chips, I think.
I think so. George Stoya from the Colorado Springs Gazette, nice enough to join us for our Monday show.
Where's that?
That is at Breckenridge Brewery's farmhouse.
Is that the place that we're trying to make a farm home?
Trying to make it a farm home.
Okay.
It's in Littleton. It's off of Santa Fe and Brewery Lane.
Santa Fe, and then you turn left on Brewery Lane.
We're there every Monday from exactly 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Mountain Time.
How many mics do we have when we do that?
Usually it's 3, I think.
3, okay.
Last week, just 2.
And whose fault was that?
Ben Swanson.
Got it.
Yeah. He's trying out for podcast supervisor.
Not doing a great job.
We're there every Monday from 6 to 7, and if you don't live in the Denver metro area, it's
What's
okay.
the matter with you?
It's okay. We're live on the Broncos YouTube page. Yeah.
No way.
Every Monday from 6 to 7, no matter what happens.
Smash that subscribe.
No matter what. Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. But this show, different than the Monday show, we're looking ahead to this Eagles game, Eric. And all that positivity that's going on around the building this week could just vanish in an instant if the Broncos don't take care of business on Sunday.
Into thin air.
It could go into mile-high thin air.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
It's like when you're playing Jenga, and it's my turn, and the tower is just precariously perched. It's swaying back and forth.
Uh-huh.
And you pull out one little block, and the tower.
You pull it out or I pull it?
I pull it out.
Uh-huh.
And the tower's standing still. And I put it at the top of the tower, and then it's your turn.
Uh-huh.
You pull one out, of course, because you're really good at that game. You play it a lot.
Uh-huh.
Then the next time it's my turn,
Really interested in this story.
if I pull the block out in a bad way and it falls, it doesn't matter that I pulled out the other block. Nothing matters.
Nothing else mattered. All the wins at the end of the year.
That's
Eric,
called a metaphor.
Yeah, that's a nice Jenga metaphor. Yeah. At the end of the year, though, Eric, when they look at all the Jenga pulls, or in this case, wins or losses, they all count the same.
Oh.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a win last week against the Cowboys and a loss this week against the Eagles, just forget about it. That would be a terrible way for the Broncos to go into the bye week.
Yeah, you're kind of a blockhead. That's why you're like Jenga.
That's why you like Jenga?
That's why you like Jenga so much.
You're the one who brought up Jenga. I don't even know where that came from. When
you play it so much.
When we met for 3 hours this morning to go over what we were going to talk about, you did not once bring up the Jenga.
I said fill in metaphor here.
Oh. And
Phil with an F.
Yeah. Well, how else would you spell it?
That's true. I don't think you could spell that word any other way.
We're going to discuss how the Broncos can avoid a letdown, kind of like how Eric's story was a letdown there. Yeah. We'll talk about, this Broncos team facing a 3-6 Eagles team. That team may be better than 3-6 suggests, Eric. So
someone once said you are what your record says you are.
Who said that?
I think you said that, right? So that was Ben Swanson.
Does not sound like me.
No.
Does not sound like me. So we'll talk about how the Broncos can avoid a letdown. And then, looking back at that Cowboys game, the offense really brought it. The defense really brought it. We'll talk about which side we don't talk about the special teams. There's just two sides. There's two sides of the ball.
I wasn't sure where you were going.
Yeah, no.
He took the day off, Vic Fangio said.
Yeah. Kind of like how you do.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you in Dallas?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I must have missed you.
No, I was not in Dallas. I was back here grinding on the Broncos postgame show.
Who's that with?
Todd Davis.
Oh, nice.
I love watching the game with Todd.
Yeah.
You know when
Do you think he likes watching the game with you?
Yes. I think that he's a big fan. When the ball snapped, Todd immediately knows what's happening. I'm like, how do you...
Yeah. Sometimes
It's
after the
amazing.
play ends, you still don't know what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Like that punt. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
What happened? How? I didn't really care, though, that the Broncos kept the ball. So I
was
like,
smart.
I was
They
like,
were
that's a
playing
great
chess.
Rule.
Yeah.
That's a great rule.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think McCarthy was playing checkers?
Yes.
And Fangio was playing chess?
I mean, some teams would just, you don't get the third down, you just punt it away, you play defense. Vic was like, let's get the punt blocked so that we can recover it and get a first down, keep the drive going, get some points.
Yeah.
I mean, that is,
Yeah.
you ever seen the Queen's Gambit?
I have.
Not a sponsor.
Well, do you think that Fangio looked up
He saw
and saw
the punt moving and the
Yeah.
ball, and yeah.
Yeah. There's been a lot.
You take those pills, don't you?
Yes. Like when she broke in and then stole all those.
that's
Yeah,
you.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric, there's been a lot made this week about how the Broncos played the Cowboys and whether or not now there's a blueprint. You know, Vic Fangio said something along the lines of teams haven't been playing them the right way. And then Mike McCarthy, I don't think he was too happy about those comments.
No.
And then there's been a lot made in the Dallas area about that.
Yeah, Vic Fangio is
Edgy this year.
edgy.
I like
I don't think John Harbaugh's probably
I
inviting
like
him
it.
over to Thanksgiving dinner. I don't
No.
think Mike McCarthy's probably doing that.
Nobody's getting that meatball recipe. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Let's just
Well, I
say
like
that.
it. I like it. Bring the
Me
fire.
too. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm an edgy guy. I'm
Yeah.
an emotional.
Hedgy. Is that what you said?
No, edgy. Edgy.
Oh. And hedgy.
Not hedgy, no. Wow. You're in a funny mood today.
The when you beat an NFC team, it's interesting because like the Ravens beat the Broncos. You have like this big, what you call it, a tiff?
There is definitely a tiff now.
A tiff. You're kind of like, oh, well, we could see those guys again later. Or like you lose to the Raiders
Yeah.
in like bad fashion. You're like, we'll get those guys again. The Cowboys, I'm like, I don't care about the Cowboys anymore.
The Cowboys, well, they're like, we got you in 1995, and we're gonna get you in 2035. You're like, okay, we'll be ready that day. You think that's how they say it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I'm
7
just
in
like,
a row now.
Like I'm not like I haven't thought about the New York Giants one time since that game.
Eric, you know what's interesting? If the Broncos take care of business against the Eagles, nice little clean sweep of the NFC East.
You could almost call it
Nice
in that situation the NFC least.
Well, yeah, yeah. The Broncos
You
would
got
just,
something else for me?
the Broncos probably would just win that division, is what I was thinking. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the Cowboys still have a better record, right?
I know, but
So maybe they wouldn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Eric-
Do you know the last division that the Broncos swept? You've got a 1-4 chance, or I guess 1-8.
No. Oh well, can you sweep the AFC West?
What? Of
You
course
can't.
you
You
can.
can't sweep yourself. So
You could
I
still.
don't think. I
can go
think you could
6
say
and-
you swept. Fine, you swept the rest of the teams, I suppose.
Yeah, you get 6-0. You swept
fine.
the division.
Okay.
So do
I
you
don't
know
know. I don't know.
NFC North in 2015?
The NFC North.
Packers,
Oh, yeah,
Lions,
yeah, yeah.
Bears.
Yeah. Peyton
Vikings.
Manning was the quarterback then, huh?
Yeah. That's that year biggest
nice
win
little
since
stat.
the Cowboys win.
That's a nice stat there, huh? Okay, so we'll talk anyway. What I was trying to get to was the offense played well, the defense played well. Which side of the ball is more likely to repeat this week against the Eagles?
I like
that
it.
performance.
I like it.
Of course, we'll have bold predictions too, Eric.
Yeah.
Love bold predictions. Last week, our predictions,
I don't remember them.
little bit off, I think.
Well, I said that Jerry Jeudy was going to outplay CeeDee Lamb. That was my offensive prediction, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That was correct.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy had a better day than CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. But Jerry Jeudy didn't have like a crazy good day.
I didn't
but
see. I just said he was
He
going to
had a
outplay
better
CeeDee
day.
Lamb.
That's true. Yeah.
And then my other prediction was that Pat Surtain was going to outplay Trayvon Diggs. That also happened. I was
Did you
2
say
for
Trayvon
2.
Diggs or did you say Michael Parsons?
No, I said Trayvon Diggs, I think.
Oh.
Because he was like
And
the
then-
interception leader.
And then what about a score prediction?
We were wrong. We gotta forget about that.
People were upset about that.
My bold predictions were
People
right.
were
though.
upset
That's
about
pretty
it.
good. I mean, Trayvon Diggs, How many passes did he intercept on?
You know, the problem, when you're a
Zero.
cornerback who's very aggressive, the offense can play to that. I think you saw the Broncos do that a little bit.
Yeah.
Tim Patrick hit him with that little hezzy. That's short for hesitation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got him good.
And got him.
Tim, I think, little bit of a push.
No, Eric.
Crafty.
No. What do you think about Tim Patrick doing the TO celebration
I love
right there?
that.
He went and he found the star in the end zone, and then he did it.
In the words of Tim Patrick, that ish disrespectful.
It is.
He said that about them going for it on 4th down.
Oh, yeah.
They probably feel the same way about him doing that on the star.
So do you think that...
He should have run to midfield like T.O. actually did.
No, that would have been a big... That would have been a...
Who decked
There
him?
would have been a nice little melee.
Somebody decked him.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was.
Yeah. That's how the
like
things
that.
work in football. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mess with one... Like, say, if you mess with one person and then they retaliate, that's how football works. And that, in my mind, is how the NBA should also work. Eric.
Got it. This is a family podcast, so we're not going to talk about the vicious attack that Nikola Jokic
I don't want to hear it.
just lost his. Oh gosh.
In my opinion, Eric,
the violence.
where you come down on the Jokic play,
violence.
that has a lot to say about like your upbringing as a young man. That has a lot to just talk about, like, not everybody came up through, the fancy schmancy schools you went to and everything and just like rode in on the cloud.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get gritty and let other people know you're not to be messed with.
Yeah, that was you in high school.
That was me
in Denver.
Yeah.
You were like, you turn your back on me in the hallway, you're going to get it.
Yeah. You don't turn around. After you start something, you don't turn it around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have both predictions again this week, though.
Perfect. What were yours?
I don't even know. They were so accurate that I just put them in the bank.
I think you said Noah Fant was going to have a touchdown, right? And that Drew Lock was going to come in. I think that was what you said.
Did I say both of those things?
I think so.
Those would have been wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, they would have.
Been wrong. So. And then, of course, Eric, we've got voicemails.
Let's go.
Let's just say Tom Agnetti brought it this week.
He always does.
It's a great voicemail.
Maybe
this is particularly a good one. If, say, somebody's watching for the first time, listening, they're driving in their car.
Sorry.
They're still listening, Eric.
They're like, do these guys ever talk about the Broncos?
How does a fan, someone who's in NZ Nation, become a part of the show themselves?
They can leave a voicemail at 707 neutral. We'll play it right here on the show if it's appropriate.
707 neutral.
Got some that were borderline threatening. Made Swanson uncomfortable.
Yes. Let's just say AJ now leaves voicemails directly for Ben. At the beginning, it says Ben, and then he goes into it.
Let's be clear. AJ was not leaving the threatening voicemails.
That's true. And AJ, we will play your voicemail this week. So
that's one way. You could leave an email at neutralzoneshow@gmail.com. And if you want a Neutral Zone sticker, leave your address. We'll send you one.
Yes, we will.
Well, Phil claims he'll send you one. I think there's.
There's.
I looked at your desk the other day, and
why were you looking at my desk?
There's obviously no work.
Why were you looking
There's
at
no
my desk?
work on the desk, but there was just kind of like a mound of stickers and envelopes that's just growing and growing and growing. I was looking for you. I couldn't even see you behind the
Eric,
pile.
The supply chain in this world there's a shortage everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
And the same thing is true with the
shortage. There are plenty of stickers.
The sticker manufacturers, it's the adhesive part of it especially, really limited.
Yeah, adhesive prices through the roof.
That's why we're having a little bit of a delay getting them out.
Got it.
So we apologize. We'll get those out.
This is the first time you've been in the office all week.
The bye week is coming up, Eric. You're going to be probably in Mexico?
No, I can't tell people.
The Caribbean, maybe. Maybe you'll be in Hawaii or something. I'm going to be right here getting to work on those stickers.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'd never leave this place.
Maybe, you'll be in the south of France. The south of France.
Oh.
That's where you typically go every bye week. Your little villa there.
There was no bye week last year.
That's true. Yeah, the Broncos bye week kind of got screwed up. Huh?
Yeah.
Dang, I forgot about that last
year.
You're
going through some stuff. Should we move along to the football?
Yeah, let's move it along. Or I was going to also say, if somebody wants to get in touch with us directly, at Eric Dalala with an A.
That's right.
At Phil Milani with a PH.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe those spellings?
Non-traditional.
Non-traditional, yeah. Non-traditional. So those are all the ways you can be a part of the show. Let's just face it. Nobody listened through all that. They just skipped right ahead to right now, Eric. So we're going to get into our first topic here.
Perfect.
On the neutral zone. How do the Broncos avoid a letdown this week as the 3-6 Philadelphia Eagles come to town?
I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, Phil.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But the Broncos they've not proven that they're good enough for this to even be a trap game or a letdown game.
Got it. Yep.
You know, they beat the Giants, they beat the Jaguars, they beat the Jets. That's all great. And some of those games, particularly the Giants game, was close in the first half. They were trailing against the Jaguars. Washington, another team, the Broncos were, that was a one-score game the entire game.
Yep.
The Broncos only have 2 more wins than the Eagles. You know, they have a 4-game losing streak. The Eagles have played teams really tight. You know, they lost by 3 to the Chargers. They gave Tampa a run for its money. I think they played the Raiders relatively tough. You know, they've had some good performances.
Their losses have come to pretty good teams.
Yeah, and so I think it's not like the Broncos are 6-2 or 7-1 and are like we just got to get by a really bad team and we're going to get to the bye. The Broncos haven't, to me, shown me enough on a week in and week out basis to have that sort of attitude. They need to just realize, hey, this is going to be a tough test. Every game from here on out is going to be a tough test, and the reward if you win this is you get to go in the bye feeling really good. 6-4, still right in the mix. Get some guys back after the bye. They cannot look ahead because this is not a game that you're going to come out and win 35-0 just by showing up.
I think the fortunate thing is that there's nothing really to look ahead to. You know, the bye week is coming up. There's not like a big game. It's not like the Chargers are coming up and they're like already focused on that. So I think on one hand, that's good. It's sort of like when you take final exams and then winter breaks right after that.
Here we go. Yep.
Yeah. It's like
you have to play some Jenga
you gotta
over break.
Take care of business here with the finals, and then you got your break.
How'd you do on final exams?
Good.
Yeah.
Really good.
The best.
Some people say.
Yeah.
Some people say that. Yeah. So I think that's a good thing. And, the other thing, Eric, when I've been thinking about the Philadelphia Eagles this week, you mentioned not really having tiffs, with NFC teams.
Oh, yeah.
The last time the Broncos played the Eagles, now there's not a ton of players who are on that team still.
Barely anybody.
But I will say, just from a fan's perspective and those who did play in that game, the last time the Broncos played the Eagles in Philadelphia, the Eagles ran out of fireworks that they set off after an Eagles score. I think that was a beatdown, Eric, that the Eagles handed the Broncos. I've been thinking about that this week. I'll say that.
Yeah, there's just not many guys on this team. Like I think Justin Simmons and Brandon McManus might be the only
Garrett Bowles.
And Bowles, yeah. That's it, right?
I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about it that far, but
you just said you thought about it.
I've been thinking about that game.
Got it.
Yeah,
but nothing else about it.
I'm trying Brock Osweiler is gone.
Correct.
I think Brandon Marshall returned a fumble for a touchdown.
He did.
He's gone.
Von Miller's gone.
I
mean, DT, Emmanuel Sanders, they were in that
Those
game.
Guys are gone.
They're gone. Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson
gone
from Philly, who really kind of were like the Jay Ajayi.
Gone. He had a long touchdown in that one.
So I don't know if
the organizations, Eric.
Yeah, but do you?
I think about that.
I mean, to me, like
I think about
in that. If you think about it,
yeah.
In that game, the Eagles didn't do anything to me that was like disrespectful.
No. Like they just handed the Broncos a big defeat.
Like if you had played the Dolphins soon after that year, when Adam Gase kicked the onside kick.
Oh yes,
that was
nothing happened in that game that was
right.
disrespectful.
So to me, I just think you're like, oh, that was.
But I'm just saying, let's not underestimate these guys. The last time the Broncos faced them, really beat us.
So you think someone in the coaching staff is saying to the players this week, like, remember this game? Because I don't think it's even brought up.
But I think that, like Justin Simmons, maybe he'll have a little edge to him.
Maybe.
McManus had a rough game. Maybe he's like, okay, I'm going to have to.
Yeah. I don't think the Eagles have won in Denver since like 1986 or something like that, or 89. It's been a long time.
Yeah. I think the last time the Eagles were in Denver, 2013, I believe Michael Vick was their quarterback.
You think they think about that game?
I think Chip Kelly was their head coach.
You've been thinking about that game this week?
I have not been. No.
It's only Wednesday as we're recording this. You got time to think
true.
about
I can think
all
about that
sorts
more.
of games.
Yeah, it's true.
I do think that in general, like you play the Raiders, there's a lot of animosity. You got to get yourself going.
Yes, of course, it's not like that.
No, but you play the Cowboys, you're like, man, the Cowboys are America's team. This is a big setting. There's not a lot of like hype around this game just in terms of the matchup.
No.
And so if I were the Broncos, I think where you draw motivation is the last time you played at home, 12,000 people didn't show up.
Yeah.
I would expect things to be better this week. One, you just beat the Cowboys. You've won a couple in a row. Halloween is not this week because that would be weird because it already happened.
Uh-huh.
Well, and so, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater said it on Wednesday. We have not played well at home.
Yes.
We need to go out and show what we can do in home games.
Because
I agree. For the Broncos to get to the playoffs, Phil, you're going to need to win some of these home games down the stretch. I mean, the Chargers, you probably like either that or the Chiefs at home. You need to win one of those. You got to take care of business against the Lions and probably the Bengals. I mean, those are games that you need to win. And so if you can come out this week and say, hey, we're going to defend our home field, we're going to put out a better performance for these fans, we're going to start to build some momentum here where it's hard for teams to come in and win. That, to me, can be sort of like a rallying cry because there's not a lot of, like, no one's like Broncos, Eagles.
Yeah.
Week 10. Like, that's not the vibe. So you got to kind of draw motivation from within this week. And I've kind of said it for a long time. I think that's where guys like Teddy Bridgewater help because he's not going to let you overlook this opponent.
I was going to say one thing that Teddy has brought to this team that we've seen so far is that the teams the Broncos were supposed to beat, they've taken care of business in those games. And so, he brings that level of professionalism. I mean, you could argue that they should have beaten the Raiders, should have beaten the Browns, but I'm saying just from a level of team, they were supposed to beat the Giants. They were supposed to beat Jacksonville. They took care of business in those games.
Yeah.
So that was a big reason, I would say is because of Teddy Bridgewater.
And I think he'll help you out here if, to me, I always try to think, like, what game could this game remind me of? So this weekend in Dallas, at halftime, I was like, this game reminds me a lot of that game in Minnesota in 2019.
And I disagreed, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, but you're allowed to think whatever you want.
Yeah, because as George Stoya and John Jornad would say, I know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't think those people say that.
Yeah, I got an email from John Jornad I can read, too.
Did you really?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
He just emailed you directly?
No, Ben Swanson sent it over.
I did not see that.
Oh, okay. We'll have to add that to the voicemails.
I must have him blocked or something.
Probably. But to me, this, just kind of the vibe of the game reminds me of the Lions game in 2019, where the Lions came in, Drew Lock was starting.
Yep, I remember that. Broncos won that game.
They did win that game, which I think is going to happen this week. Yeah. Spoiler. But,
Did Jeff Driscoll start that game for the Lions?
I think David Blah.
Oh, Blah. That's right. Right. Sorry.
Pride of Purdue.
Yeah.
The Broncos didn't, run away with that game. It was kind of a tight first half, an ugly first half. Broncos ended up winning by 10 because I think Philip Lindsay broke a run in the fourth quarter. Yeah. But they had to fight, they had to battle. That was not a great Lions team. The Broncos were a better team, but they didn't just come out and punch them in the mouth right away. They had to be in it all day, play good football. I could kind of see something happening similarly on Sunday where the Broncos don't blow them out of the water. It's a tight game, it's a close game, and maybe the Broncos pull away a little bit late, but they've got to play a good football game. You cannot come out flat like you did against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The one thing that they did against the Cowboys that was a pleasant, I sort of say surprise, I guess, but just the fact that they started so hot right off the bat. The second drive of the game, they drove all the way down and scored a touchdown.
First drive was not good.
The defense
started hot.
2 in a row, hot.
Special teams.
Energy. No, I told you we don't talk about that. I think when you're facing a team that many expect the Broncos to win this one, the beginning of the game is crucial to just really set the tone and say, hey, you're in our house. You just crush any hopes.
Well, I think if you watch I don't know if you went back and watched the Chargers-Eagles game, but I think part of what made that game so close is that the Chargers, they went for it a couple times on fourth down early in the game and didn't get it, similar to the Cowboys. And the Eagles took advantage. They scored, they went up, they had a halftime lead, and they were just kind of like in the mix. And when you let teams like that hang around, you're in danger. You're kind of like if you're Tom Cruise, Tom Cruise, you're in the danger zone.
Got it. Sorry, I jumped your little.
Yeah, sorry, you ruined that.
I just went to it fast.
Yeah,
I like to go fast.
You got that need for speed over there.
Yeah. There you go. Bounce back nicely.
But I think that if you can hold them early, move down the field, and get some points, and just kind of get them on their heels.
Yeah. This
is a team that when you lose, like you find new ways to lose.
Yeah.
And you kind of get stuck in that rut. And
that's what I thought after that blocked punt. I was like, oh, man. And then they were like, it's actually still the Broncos' ball.
And you were like, huh?
What? I was like, what?
You're like, Todd, explain this.
Exactly. Yeah. Eric, I agree with your first point, though. I don't think this Broncos team really is in a position where they should be overlooking anybody.
Right.
So I think that's a good point. So.
Now, it is a game they should win.
They should win, but I don't think it's a game where you just say, oh, we're way better than it. We can just line up and beat this team.
Right.
That's not the case.
Right.
So let's move on to our second topic here on this episode of the Neutral Zone. Eric, the Broncos played their best game of this season against the Cowboys, and they played really complimentary football. The offense was clicking. The defense was clicking. Everything was rolling.
Everything
was rolling, Eric.
Perfect.
You don't think so?
No, I agree.
Oh, okay, good. Eric, my question to you is, which side of the ball? When you talk about football, there's two sides, okay? There's the offense and there's the defense.
There's the laces and the other side.
Okay. Which side of the ball do you think is most likely to have a repeat performance this week?
The defense, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you said that.
Why? Because you think the offense?
Correct.
Okay. I just think the defense is kind of finding its form. You could get Malik Reed back. Jonathan Cooper had a really good game. The secondary might be without Pat Surtain, but I do think that Kyle Fuller looked pretty good at a pass breakup. Ronald Darby starting to kind of find his form. We haven't seen those errors on the back end of the defense the way we had. And I think maybe an underrated advantage the Broncos have is that they played Lamar Jackson earlier in the season, and so they've had some experience against one of these really mobile quarterbacks that can extend plays, and they can look and they can say, did our strategy against the Ravens work? And so that was to stop the run, and then it was to kind of not really blitz Lamar or rush him even all that hard. It was kind of to contain him within the pocket.
Yep.
And obviously it didn't work great.
That did not work.
And so I think the Broncos have the benefit of saying, how can we tweak this? Will this work against Jalen Hurts? He's a young quarterback. We know Vic Fangio has had experience working against young guys in the past. And so I think that all that and the fact that if you look at the injuries, I think that's going to impact the offensive side of the ball a little bit more this week. That just gives me some qualms that the Broncos are going to be able to match that performance offensively. So I lean toward the defense. I think they're really starting to find their stride. It's not long before you ask if this is as good as the Super Bowl 50 defense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, one of the reasons why I think the offense is more likely to do it is because MVP candidate Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, you're saying that?
No. Isn't that what you were saying a few weeks ago?
Not that I recall.
That's what I sort of thought.
You think all sorts of things.
Eric, you mentioned the injury concerns.
Yeah.
I don't know how healthy Pat Surtain is.
I'm assuming he's not going to play.
And if he doesn't play, I think that could disturb the secondary's flow. I know that last week, Kyle Fuller, he played pretty much every position on defense and did a nice job.
Defensive line.
Yeah, he was stopping the run. He was all kinds of stuff. And I thought that on the offensive line for the Broncos, I thought that Quinn Miners came in and played really well. And I think that Calvin Anderson played well in replacement of Garrett Bowles. So I feel like that O-line actually might be okay, Eric. And the reason why I think the offense is more likely to repeat is because I think that Pat Shurmur it's clicked here with the running game. He's like, I've got two premier weapons. The Broncos, they've got weapons on the offensive side of the ball, but maybe their two best weapons are Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. At this point, you might say that.
I wouldn't.
Pat Shurmur going against the Eagles. He's a little fired up here, going up against his
Ronald
old
Darby
team.
Going up against the Eagles. Nobody asked him.
Ronald Darby. Nobody asked him, huh? Why didn't you ask him that, Eric?
I was hoping somebody plugged something
I think
in.
you were sleeping. Yeah. Power cable, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I don't know
Did you
why
see the
would've
stream
been
of
doing that.
Ronald Darby's press conference?
Really nice.
Yeah.
Focus was really sharp. That's what I would say. Anyway, so I think they've figured out some things with this running game, going to keep that consistent, I think. And then the other thing, Eric, is that I was reading some stories out of the Philadelphia market this morning. I don't know if you ever do that.
I did that as well this morning.
Yeah, so I was doing that. One of the things they were wondering about is Jalen Hurts the quarterback of the future there? And Vic Fangio said today that he thinks yes. And I think that this Eagles offense is pretty good. So I think that if you're just talking about which side of the ball is stronger for the Eagles, I would say their offense is moving the ball pretty well, I think. And Vic Fangio is really complimentary of Hurts. He said that he thinks that they found their quarterback. On the other side of the ball, I was reading that the Eagles play this sort of a soft zone. They've allowed a lot of quarterbacks, I believe 5 quarterbacks, to complete 80% or more of their passes.
Where'd you see that?
I was reading it in one of their stories, but I think you mentioned it also the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Something about DVOA. I'm not sure.
Exactly. No, I agree with you.
I'm almost done.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and I was
You took
gonna
a
say,
long pause.
that really plays to the Broncos' strength in the passing game, I would say.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy knows how to find those little holes in the soft zone, and Teddy Bridgewater is Mr. High completion percentage.
He is.
I mean, if Justin Herbert's out there completing, 32 of how many?
I think he was 33 of 38, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he had like 5 incomplete passes.
That's what that would.
Teddy Bridgewater really excels at completing the ball, moving the chains.
Yeah.
He might complete like 95% of his passes. And if the running game's going, look out. Well, I think you might be talking about another 30-point game.
Woo!
Whoop!
No, I agree with you that the Eagles' offense is better than their defense. I just think that the Broncos' defense, week to week, has been a little bit better than the offense. And I think that they're finding their rhythm, but I wonder how often, how consistent they can be. Like if you could sign the Broncos up for 24, 27 points this week, I would certainly take that right now.
Yeah.
Because I think the defense is more than capable of holding the Philadelphia offense below that.
Yeah. I agree with you. But I think that the offense could go out there and just put that up.
No, I mean
no problem.
Jerry Jeudy has been really impressive, like you mentioned. I think Teddy's 3rd in the NFL in completion percentage among quarterbacks who've started at least 3 games. So he's been good. That's what he does. Get the ball to these guys in space. I'm just saying that there
kind of won you over.
There are reasons to say what you said.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
Yeah, well,
that's why I said it. That's not always the case on this
exactly,
show.
Yeah,
that's not always the case. Yeah, this time I had some reasons. So if they can both do it, Eric, that'd be pretty nice, I think.
Well, and I think that if I would just like to see, even if it's not 30 points, some sort of like maintained, I don't want to say competence because that is a little harsh, but maintained success.
Yes.
Because you can't go back to like Washington where you have 2 good drives the whole game and the rest of it is just kind of a little bit of a disaster. Because that's not going to leave you feeling confident going into the rest of the season that, hey, we can match the Chargers, we can match the Chiefs, we can stick with the Raiders when we go there. But if you can go out and you can score in the mid-20s, you're moving the ball a lot. Like, I'm trying to think which game is a good example. One of those ones early in the season, like you didn't necessarily score on every drive, but you moved the ball pretty well.
Well, yeah.
Maybe the Giants is the best example of that.
Yeah, they kept moving the ball. I almost tweeted this the other day, but in writing it sounds really stupid. But it kind of has a point. Kind of stupid too, though. But like when the Broncos get rolling, like they can get that first down and maybe a second one, then they tend to have like a lot of success. But like when that first drive, when the first down doesn't happen, obviously the drive just like it's kind of, see how it sounds stupid?
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
But so I didn't tweet it. I was like, this really sounds stupid.
Good thing you didn't say it.
Like when they get a little bit of success, they roll on and they tend to like have a really successful drive. And then obviously when it just doesn't happen, they tend to it seems to be like either or. Like either it's going to be a really nice long touchdown or like a long drive and a field goal, or it's just like nothing. Like, rarely do they get, like, 3 first downs and then punt.
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen that often.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So
I think
it'd be nice to see just more continued success where third and manageable, moving the chains, getting things rolling, winning the field of field position battle.
There you go.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten a little bit better at that since Jerry Jeudy's come back. He's really opened up a lot of stuff, and I think there is a chance that they can.
Judy's going to have a big game in my opinion.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. That's the next section, but.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I won't skip ahead, but yeah, I mean, I think the offense, I would just like to see some sort of sign that last week was not a fluke. I'm not concerned that the defense is a fluke because I've seen it enough that they've played well.
They have played well, but at times they've given up stuff, and they seem to have corrected some of those things. Last 2 games.
Last 2 games, and then really like the passing game was not an issue against the Browns at all.
No, the running game was a big
Well, in that, I'll just attribute that to the fact they didn't have anybody left. I mean, you had practice squad linebackers trying to stop the run.
Trying to stop their practice squad running.
Correct. Yeah, who was clearly better.
Yeah.
But, I mean, since Kenny Young and Baron Browning have been back, the run has not been an issue.
That's true. The pickups on the defensive side of the ball have been big players coming in and just right away having an impact. Stephen Weatherly has been doing it. Kenny Young, big impact.
I mean, Kenny Young is playing better than maybe any linebacker the Broncos have had in the last several years.
Yeah.
That was a nice pickup. It'll be interesting. He's an unrestricted free agent after the surprising.
Well, I was going to say, Eric, one thing I told you was I was like, I'm interested to see what Kenny Young still has here because rarely do teams that are in the mix for winning a Super Bowl give up quality players. Even if the future, they're not sure if he's going to stay there, like maybe they can't re-sign him, they still say, let's hold on to him because we're making a run this year.
They're clearing cap space for Von Miller.
The Broncos are paying all of Von Miller's.
They still needed to make cap space. They wouldn't have even had $700,000 to pay Von Miller.
They couldn't have even gone to like 7-Eleven.
I think they were in a bad spot.
Really, that tight?
Yes.
Wow. So you think that was laying the groundwork for Von Miller at that point? Really?
I think so. They wanted another guy to play anyway, and so they were like, if we're going to make – I don't know if they thought it was for Von, but they were like, we're going to make one more big move. We need a little bit more room.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Usually you just because the way Kenny Young's been playing, you would think they'd be like, let's just find a way to keep this guy.
Well, and the interesting thing is Kenny Young is not lost since he's been in Denver. 2-0.
That's true. I saw our friend Mike Kliss has said that he is 8-1. And the Rams are 7-2.
Von Miller
curse.
4-5.
That's true. He did not play in that game, but yes.
I think it still counts as an L.
That is an L.
And since he wasn't playing, he could
George
hold
Stoyer brought it up the other night, Von Miller curse.
Yeah.
Do you think that is a thing?
I mean, through 2 weeks. It's interesting. They don't want to – Vic in particular doesn't want to talk about like the impact that Von leaving has on the field.
Yeah.
He said there's been a couple questions about how do you rally without Von or like do guys prove themselves? He's like, let's not make something out of that.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
It is interesting. All he said was this defense, he said this before the Cowboys game, this defense played really well against Washington without Von.
Yeah.
It is true, and they played well against the Cowboys.
Vic's not going to go up there and blast Von, but maybe there's a reason why he just doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, you could do it like, oh, yeah, young guys want to prove them. So you could do it in a way that not blasting Von, but.
How close do you think Von is to getting back on the field?
Well, I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
Well,
normally when you make a trade, you got to pass a physical and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
He probably passed that,
probably
but it's
could have played, and probably could play this week. But it's more of like if you're the Rams, you know you're going to be in the playoffs. Like bring this guy in December and kind of get rolling.
Oh, got it. You don't think they're like, let's try and get a first round bye?
I mean, I'm sure they would like that.
I think they would too.
I wonder. Did I bring this up to you? The Rams play on turf. Von
doesn't like turf.
No.
That's true.
I wonder if they're being a little extra careful because of the turf.
Okay, you just tell Stan Kroenke, you're like, get this turf out of here. We want fresh grass, like they do in Arizona.
Yeah, and paying Jokic is fine for him.
And then he's got to pay. Yeah, Jokic is fine. Did Jokic? I don't think Jokic got fined. He just got the 1-game suspension without pay.
Oh, so he just lost his check.
Saved some money.
What?
Kroenke saved money. He he doesn't have to pay Jokic.
But wouldn't Jokic have
take that money and buy a new field?
Got it. Yeah. Kroenke is probably like to spend him 10 games.
No, I don't think so. No, he wants the wins.
Yeah.
And luckily for the Nuggets, they play the Indiana Pacers. Maybe they could still win that game without Jokic. We'll have to see. Maybe his teammates will rally in support of their MVP.
Yeah.
Their MVP, your MVP, everyone's MVP in their hearts and on paper. Eric, let's get to bold predictions.
Perfect.
Bold predictions. I'll go ahead and start out here. I think that Jerry Jeudy will have a 100-yard receiving game and 1 touchdown.
Nice.
Which is saying something because Jeudy tends not to find the end zone for whatever reason.
Yeah, only 3 career touchdowns.
That's sort of surprising, isn't it?
To you.
That is surprising to me.
Yeah.
Great wide receiver, just doesn't get the red zone targets.
Yeah. No, I was looking at Cortland Sutton's numbers today too, because I think he's in the top 10 in the AFC in receiving, and some of these guys have, like Jamar Chase has 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Cortland has 2.
Yeah.
And it's not just like
Tim Patrick scores touchdowns.
Yeah, Tim Patrick.
He scores touchdowns.
Timmy Tubbs.
He brings it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a little spicy for you.
Let me just put on my seatbelt here.
The Eagles have been really not good at covering tight ends. I think Alberto.
That's going to be on a loop in the Eagles locker room.
Perfect. What's up, Fletcher Cox? I think Alberto and Noah Fant each have a touchdown this week.
Noah Fant back off the COVID list.
Yep.
Going to score a touchdown right away.
And Alberto. 2 Tubbs, 2 tight ends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what happened last week. Chargers, each of their tight ends scored a touchdown.
Okay, so that's why you're thinking.
Well, I watched the game and I was like, cover the big guy in the middle of the field.
Yeah. Alberto,
hopefully
if he
Alberto
could stay
can
healthy,
play.
I was going to say, if he could stay healthy, could he be tight end 1 eventually here? Oh, gosh. I said that, and the lights are just like, Noah,
you're canceled.
Noah, turn those lights back on.
You're canceled.
Yeah, come on. Let's get the lights back on here. There we go. Thank you, Noah. I appreciate that. That's ridiculous. Could it be?
I don't think this year it would ever be in.
Maybe not this year, but next year. Do you think that?
Next year potentially. I would say this year it's kind of like I don't expect Javonte Williams to start over Melvin Gordon at any point. But
Melvin's been really good.
Javonte's been really good.
Melvin's been really good.
Javonte's been really good. Like, I don't think they're going to get to the point where Javonte starts ahead of Melvin, but I think you've seen the last few weeks, Javonte's gotten some more carries.
Yeah.
He's making a little bit more out of them. I mean, Melvin has had good games, like you're mentioning, but...
And Melvin finds the end zone. Man, he is really talented around the goal line.
Yep, he is.
Every time he gets a ball, he just...
I mean, last year
finds a way.
Didn't have a 1,000-yard season, but had 10 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
He scores.
He's really talented.
That's another guy. Javonte Williams, only 1 touchdown this year.
Yeah.
He's got almost 500 yards.
Well, they tried to give him the ball a couple of times, and then finally Teddy was like, I got it. Yeah. And then just barely.
It's weird that he breaks all those tackles, and by the goal line, for whatever reason, it's incapable.
You know what's interesting? Sometimes when you're near the goal line, you can't just put your head down and just like plow into guys. You really have to be able to find a seam and then sort of just – it's kind of like Tom Brady. He's not like the biggest guy, but when he sneaks the ball, he's really good at it.
Yeah.
You got to find the crack and then just sort of wiggle your way in there. It's the crack in the line.
Why you have to clarify?
Oh, you started laughing.
I didn't laugh at all.
God. Can't say anything around this guy.
There was that one against, was it the Jets where Melvin just got freaking destroyed?
Yes.
And then Javonte scored?
Yeah, I think that's true. But I will say Melvin is very talented.
He is very good. But I think it could be a similar situation. You know, maybe Noah continues to start, but Alberto has a few more catches because Alberto has shown his ability to break some tackles. And we know Noah has that ability. We just haven't seen it of late. So
I've not seen that.
Hopefully Noah,
been tackled short of the line to gain a couple of times.
Hopefully Noah sees this game from Alberto, gets fired up.
Ooh.
There's nothing wrong with a little internal competition. That's what makes us so good as ours is, you see me get a scoop and you're like, I'll get it next time, and then you see me get another one, and you're like, I'll really get it next time, and then you see me get another one.
You're talking about like when you're like at Dairy Queen, you're getting scoops?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, some ice cream?
Yeah.
Got it. That was a bad example because Dairy Queen does soft serve. You don't really get scoops.
Yeah. Damn. Also not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Or is it? I think it might be.
Are they?
I think it could be.
Of the neutral zone?
No.
Or just of the Broncos?
No. Breckenridge Brewery's farmhouse / farm home in Littleton.
When you go there and you get a beer float.
Gross.
Yeah, scoops.
What do you got for the defense?
Okay, maybe since we brought up his name earlier, maybe Ronald Darby gets an interception facing his former team.
I like it. I was going to say Kyle Fuller interception.
Oh.
The comeback is complete.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Should Jonathan Cooper have gotten a game ball?
Because let's see, game balls went to Curtis Motkins, Kyle Fuller, and Javante.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that you throw Fuller a bone there just because you're like, you exemplified what it means to be a pro. You know, you haven't been getting the reps you wanted, but you still showed up and you were ready to play. And when it was your time to play, you played at a high level. I think there's something valuable into honoring that. And for whatever reason, Vic doesn't seem like to hand out a ton of game balls.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
He just doesn't really do that.
It's okay to hand out more game balls, Vic. You can give out a couple more.
Previous Broncos coaches have handed out much more game balls. And he said something like, I think I could give out 53.
Yeah.
John Fox did that, regularly.
I think they did that last year after the win over the Chargers. If I'm
Gave
not mistaken.
everybody a game ball?
I think so. Did you not get one?
Did you?
My defensive... Oh, we already did that, Kyle Fuller. Gosh.
Nice try.
Yeah.
Nice try to try and, funnily, the timing. You tried to use your timing there, but you still messed it up. Yeah. Okay, let's get your score prediction.
Oh, okay. I think, this Lions game, it's in my mind, so I'm going to go the same score of that game. I'm going to say Broncos 27, Eagles 17. And I think the Broncos score midway through the fourth quarter to kind of put it on ice.
So what was that again?
27-17.
27-17. Okay. I'm going to say the Broncos score 30 again.
You've said it every week.
Fine. I'll say 31.
Okay.
I like it. And I think that the Eagles score I say the Eagles score 24.
Okay.
I think their offense is going to have some success.
Yeah.
But I do think the Broncos offense is going to play well. So 31-24 is what I say, Broncos.
And a dub.
That's not a typical Broncos score. But I'm going out on a limb. And I'm saying the Broncos get the win.
What's a typical Broncos score?
Like 17-7.
Got it. When's the last time the Broncos had that score?
I don't know. That's a lower scoring.
You're a fountain of knowledge.
Both teams lower
Got
than averages.
The under, per se.
When I was looking at the AFC West this week, the AFC West very tight right now. A couple 5-3 teams, couple 5-4 teams. The Broncos have scored the fewest amount of points among the AFC West teams. They've also given up the fewest amount of points. Let's kind of get into my point that everything's just a little bit down when it's a Broncos game.
Got it. How's their point differential? That's what you got to look at.
I didn't look at the point differential. I was just looking at the points forced.
Point differential.
Points allowed.
Forced?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
4.
4? Points 4?
Yes.
Forced.
What does points forced even mean?
You forced these points.
Oh, my God.
You don't think that's
no.
Whatever.
Points
that's
forced.
what I thought. Yeah. That's pretty much the same word, for and forced. If they forced those points. Maybe it's not forced, but it should be.
Got it. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just ahead, playing from ahead. Okay, so you said 27-17?
Yep.
And I said, what did I say?
31-24.
31-24. Okay, perfect. Okay, you want to get to some voicemails, Eric?
Yeah. Do we get to read the Jornad too?
Sure. I didn't see the Jornad.
Okay, well, it'll be a treat for you.
Okay, go ahead. Do you want to do voicemails first, or you want to do the emails?
This first, because it'll make you nice and grumpy.
Okay. Jornad, is this one of your college friends?
No,
John
it's
Jordan?
not. This is one of Ben Swanson's friends.
Is this a relative, maybe?
No. Okay. I'm ready if you are.
Okay, go ahead.
Eric and Phil just listened to the farmhouse, and although it was nice to hear someone different, it takes away from Eric's time. So as much as I like George's input, I don't think you should make him a regular. I'd rather hear Eric's take on more things since it's almost always correct. He continues.
I think we sent a sticker to John Jornad. You must have also stuck in like a 20 or something. Maybe John, a 100.
Appreciate it, John. He also says, as much as I liked Von Miller and wanted him to retire a Bronco, getting rid of him seemed to give the defense a spark. Not sure if it was just the backups or the team in general, but they played like the team they were in the first part of the season. If they play like that, we can get back on track.
It's true. If they play like how they played against the Cowboys.
They'll never lose again.
They'll never lose.
Yeah.
Good point, John. I like George being on the show. I think we should invite him back. Maybe not a regular, but maybe he can come back a few times.
Yeah.
A little bit of
chips.
Somebody you can bounce some comedic ideas off of. I appreciate
like that.
Yeah. Because that's what makes this show special.
Force him to come back. Points force him.
We'll invite him to
force the show.
Yeah, and we'll
but
force
we won't
the show
for him.
Yeah, exactly. Good one.
Yikes.
You know English though, right?
I do.
Yeah, you know English. Okay, let's get to voicemails. Tom Magnetti came through with a magnificent one this week.
Gentlemen, Tom Magnetti here. What a wonderful weekend it was last weekend, isn't that right? Now I'm just going to say, I even tweeted to you guys, I chose the Broncos to win that game. For no reason other than I always choose the Broncos to win every game. However, if they can win this week, I will have defeated the team of my wife, my first girlfriend, and my ex-wife 3 weeks in a row. The football gods trifecta. Let's make it happen. Go Broncos.
Wow, the football gods trifecta right there.
Yeah. That's something
that would
else.
That would be.
So we know that his current wife.
Amazing. Yeah,
likes Washington. And then I assume
his first girlfriend must be Dallas.
Cowboys, yeah. And then ex-wife.
His ex-wife.
Philly.
Of course, Tom lives in Delaware.
Yeah,
so he's
nice
right in that
close.
area. Yeah. Wow.
Tom, what's going on with the NFC East here?
Yeah. Here's my question, Eric.
Branch out.
If something like that happens where the trifecta comes through, you pick up the phone and call. You make a call and you call your first girlfriend.
No,
you don't
Tom,
do that.
Do not do
don't
that.
do that, huh?
No,
Tom. If you do that, I guess it depends on how long ago was it. You know?
A first girlfriend.
Was it like a high school sweetheart, maybe, or something?
Yeah, that could be fine. You probably don't want to call the ex-wife
because the lawyers might get involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he called me and said this football gods.
yeah. He left this rambling voicemail about the Broncos.
Yeah.
And Tom, don't do that.
No.
We really liked your wife.
Yes, I was going to say we met.
Who's a Washington fan, and we do not need
a
Giants fan coming in as like the fourth.
A fourth? No.
We don't need that.
No.
So Tom,
no.
Don't call anybody.
Tom's wife, very special lady, because she allows him to watch the neutral zone on his TV in the living room.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't even allow, I used to record in my living room, and she was like, shut up in there. Yeah. Tom's special. That's a special lady. And we got to meet her. It was very nice.
Yeah. And they're welcome back anytime.
Anytime, yes. Yeah. Should we get to...
I wonder does Tom have it? Tom, let us know if there's any, if you have any, mortal enemies that happen to cheer for the Chargers or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's keep this thing going.
Okay, got it, yeah. Maybe the Chiefs, I was going to say. That'd be nice.
Yeah, maybe a really mean teacher in high school or something.
A crush, maybe his first crush.
So we got to stay in that lane, you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's in that avenue that the success is coming.
Yeah.
So maybe a first crush, family grew up in the Kansas City area and then moved to
Delaware,
the East Coast.
North Carolina?
Not North Carolina, Eric. That is the South. Yeah.
We'll show you a map later.
Okay. Let's get to a voicemail. We had to make sure everybody listened to this first before we were allowed to play AJ. You know what happened, Eric? I called Ben and I was like, hey, we haven't heard from AJ in a while. Can we please play one? And Ben was like, I don't think so.
Yeah. He was like, I decide when you play a voicemail from AJ.
Yeah.
And I've decided never.
And I was like, that's not right. He's a big Teddy Bridgewater fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need to get him back on the show.
Absolutely.
Because AJ brings it. He's got passion.
Passion.
And I like passion.
Yeah.
And so I told Ben, I was like, I don't care. You send them. And so this week we got it on. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, again, big win. Hope you just take one of these calls because, it's just too funny. What did Carolina do yesterday? What did this dude Sam Darnold do? You think it's a coincidence? Like, no. People are missing on Teddy. And then Teddy, oh my gosh, I've been saying it, and I've lost friendships over this dude because of that. People don't believe in talent. And I'm like, he's been hurt. Like when he was with the Vikings, it was Blair Walsh. They would have went deeper in the playoffs. I'm telling people, he keeps the chains moving. Did you see the time of possession yesterday? And I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. It's like anyone want to see this guy win. He's got the right approach. It's really good, really, really good to see them about to be 6-4. But facing the Eagles is going to be a tough test. But we'll see.
He says tough tests coming up against the Eagles. We'll see.
Kind of a revelation there that AJ's a Cowboys fan.
Yes, we did not. Well, we knew he was a Teddy Bridgewater fan.
Yep.
Because Teddy has bounced around the league a little bit, maybe he's just like, I can't be a fan of just the one team that Teddy's
Well, I think it's normal, too, to, have a soft spot for, like, a college player that you followed, even if that's not, like, your team necessarily.
That is true. Like, for me, Eric, Cordell Stewart.
Yeah.
Big Cordell Stewart fan. Of
course.
But then the Broncos play the Steelers in the AFC Championship game. I was like, I can't be a Cordell fan anymore.
Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah.
Like
he had a great game in that game.
Justin Jackson, the ball carrier. I'm sure you're familiar.
Uh-huh.
He plays for the Chargers.
Uh-huh.
Dean Lowry and Tyler Lancaster play for the Packers. I don't necessarily cheer for those teams, but I want to see those guys
Or
do
Sean
well.
Slater.
That's true. Yeah.
Cannot cheer.
T. Sims.
Yeah. Wow.
Starting quarterback Trevor Siemian. We made it all the way back, buddy.
Yeah, do you think that the Saints, like, you think they're going to make a little run here with Trevor?
I don't know.
We'll have to see.
We will.
Yeah. Chidobe Awuzie, my CU buff.
Is he still in the league?
He is. I think he just went on the COVID list.
Easier for you because not as many CU players
Cincinnati.
make it to the league.
That's unfortunately that's true these days.
Yeah.
But before
the glory days.
think about how good Cordell Stewart would be in today's NFL. Oh my goodness, he would go crazy nowadays.
Yeah, better than Kyler.
He would be like Kyler, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better.
I'm not ready to say that because Kyler is having a sensational season.
He won the Heisman.
He needs to get
right?
healthy. No, Cordell did not win.
No, Kyler Murray won the Heisman.
Yes, Kyler Murray did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cordell did not.
No.
I'm talking about what they're doing in the NFL.
Yeah.
There is
What-
no Heisman.
Actually, you're actually talking about
There's
what
no
they
Heisman.
could do in the NFL
Yeah.
because this is an
Yeah, that
imaginary
is true.
scenario in your brain.
But I'm not talking about. There is no Heisman, Eric. I'll tell you. There's no Heisman. I'll tell you
got
about
it.
the NFL awards. You're kind of confused about how like offensive rookie of the year works. You don't. You're
That's true. I am
obviously
I
confused
am-
about the MVP award.
I am really confused
You don't know how that
about
works
how
either.
Offensive Rookie of the Year works.
So I'll explain.
Because this year people are like, Jamar Chase is 100% going to win. And I'm like,
explain
what
that.
is the difference between Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson?
Well,
The difference is that the
Trevor
quarterback-
Lawrence isn't like lighting the league on fire just yet.
Yeah. They're scrambling.
Zach
they're like,
Wilson is
They're like,
not
find a quarterback that can win it.
not doing it.
Find
So
a quarterback.
yeah, I don't know.
They might just
be
be like,
interesting.
we'll pretend that Kyler's a rookie again and we'll just give it to him.
Could do that.
Yeah.
Could do that, Eric. Eric, do you have any shout-outs that you'd like to get to here? Any shout-outs? How about a shout-out to Andrew Beck?
Yeah. Salute to service.
Yeah, he's the player of the year for the Broncos.
Yeah.
USAA.
It's nice. His dad serves in the military.
Yes.
I think his grandfather did as well.
He went out to the Buckley Space Force Base. That's where he went out to this week. Yeah, and he hung out. A few teammates. You know who's been big in the community? Baron Brownie. He was out there too, hanging out with some families there. A lot of kids. You know, as Andrew said in that video that the Broncos put up.
Of course.
He said, you know, when one person. No. This was at the Space Force base.
Puppies. The puppies were at the base?
No, this is not the puppies one. You know, he says when a parent serves, it affects the whole family, you know, including the kids, and he knows what that's like. And so for him to get to interact with some of those kids, it's a special time for him. So
I like Andrew Beck. Got to play in his home state against the Cowboys.
You think they should use Andrew Beck a little bit more?
Do whatever.
When they have an extra tight end out there, maybe there's been some success.
Load it up.
Yeah. Get big.
A lot of guys that went down to Texas.
Cortland
reunion. Caden Stearns had an interception. I think Calvin Anderson, right?
I mean, let's just be real here. California, Texas, and Florida, that's like what, 90% of the league? Ohio? You know, this is where football players are groomed.
Wow. Okay. So they shouldn't enjoy going home.
But they should enjoy it, yes. Must have been cool.
We spent 4 years, not that long, 3 years talking about Philip Lindsay being from Colorado.
Because that's rare. Yeah, Austin Eckler.
Yeah. How'd that guy get away?
You mean from CU?
From CU? From the Broncos?
Yeah.
Shout out
Liz Gerald's, of course.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just
naturally. But I was going to say shout out Bradley Chubb.
$30,000 donation, right?
Denver Public Schools Foundation.
That is nice.
Helping the kids.
That's good.
Giving back, even though he's not on the field right now. Hope to see him back soon.
Bradley cares about the community a lot. He did a lot of tour around with the Boys and Girls Club pre-pandemic.
Yep.
And then now doing this, So busy week in the community, Eric.
Busy week.
Yeah, and it is Salute to Service month.
Yes.
In the NFL, so honoring all of those who served. So shout out to everybody there. So anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, I think that's going to do it. You said 27-17?
Yep.
And I said 31-24. So we'll see. Maybe we'll be back on track here this week with our predictions. We'll be back on Monday. What time did we say?
6 p.m. sharp. Do not be late.
6 p.m. Live on the Broncos YouTube page. We are coming to you from Breckenridge Brewery's farmhouse.
Trying to make it a farm home.
It's in Littleton. It's off of Santa Fe and Brewery Lane. Yep. And so we'll be breaking down. It's the bye week, Eric, but we're still working.
Yes.
We never go bye.
That was good.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
We never say bye-bye.
We never go bye.
Although it's time to say bye-bye now.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll be back on Monday. Until then, for Eric Dalala, I'm Phil Milani. You've been listening to
The Neutral Zone.